kind of a spark for others to create their own confidence.
Do you think that a black woman that is wanting to date outside of the black race, are they certain what race they want to try to get involved in, or they're just like, okay, let me just taste around?
Taste around.
You know, like
The freak.
like you said that, like
I don't know
they're
what the freak.
you know, taste around, you know, like go around and just, you know, like a all you can eat buffet.
I don't know nothing about sampling. I mean, there might be some women that go out and they have a particular ethnicity. As someone that listens to K-pop, I can tell you there are plenty of girls that have their eyes set on finding some Korean oppa that they can sit there and like lust over. But I personally would not recommend doing that. I think you should be open to anybody that's going to come in and love you and treat you well and treat you with respect, regardless of their ethnicity. They could be black, they could be Asian, they could be Hispanic. I don't feel like you should worry about that part rather than how that person treats you. I think it's more important than tasting a bunch of people.
Well, that's like, so back in like school, right? Like high school and stuff, you've never heard like somebody that just says, I only date black guys, or I only date white people. You know, like
honestly,
those
as
people.
a black woman, you hear that a lot with black men. I don't want to call nobody out, but I've heard
okay.
it very, no, I'm not
Okay.
going to call nobody out, but I've heard it very close. Like, these are people I really know, and they only date, like, Hispanic women, or they only like white girls. Like, that's very common for black men to say and to do, but then, again, that goes into what I was saying earlier, where black women are seen as like traitors. But if a black man has a preference for someone who has lighter skin, whether they're like a light-skinned black person or a biracial black person, or a Hispanic or whatever, it's okay for them to do it. But it's not okay for a black woman to do it. But I've definitely heard, and it's not even in high school, this is just life. Like, I've heard this affinity for wanting a type of ethnicity, which I don't personally think that's right. But
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
you
pretty.
can disguise it as a preference if you want, but to me, it's a fetish.
Yeah, it's more of a
It's
fetish.
a
Yeah,
little weird.
yeah, because it's like, if that's almost like, you know, if you say, okay, I only date white guys, or I only date white people, like, you know how many ugly white people there are?
Well, you know what?
Like, how can you just say, oh, okay, if there's a really good looking Hispanic guy, and then there's a really ugly looking white guy, since you only date white people, are you going to go for the white guy over the Hispanic guy just because he's white? That's stupid.
I kind of feel like men really do that though. Like, I know a ton of Asian men that they could have a gorgeous black woman in front of them and a really sleazy looking white girl in front of them. They will still pick the white girl because that's what they have a fetish for, and that's that colorism that comes into play. Same thing with black men. They can have a really beautiful black girl in front of them, and they can have a really sleazy looking white girl, and she don't have to be white, she could be Hispanic or any other ethnicity, and they will still choose the latter of the two because of the hierarchy that comes with any other ethnicity other than being black. Black women are at the bottom. Nobody wants a black woman. Nobody goes out and is like, oh, black women are so gorgeous and blah blah blah. And if they do, it's light-skinned black women. And I mean, I'm not light-skinned. I don't consider myself dark-skinned. I'm just brown, but I can understand darker skinned black women's pain that they really get looked at. We as black women get looked at as not being attractive already. And then within that, darker skinned black women really get put at the bottom. And that's within the black community, and that's what outside the black community.
See, me growing up, I never thought that black women thought that of themselves. Like,
but it's not that we think that of ourselves. It's kind of how we're treated and like what we're like not told, but
like
most. If you look at, for example, Destiny's Child,
right?
Beyonce
the light-skinned one.
Yes,
okay.
And she's the one that's put up front. And they can all sing Kelly